At Metro PCS, we let the numbers do the talking. 4. Enjoy a reliable 4G LTE network that's faster than Sprint. 2. Get 2 free smartphones when you switch to Metro PCS. 99. The percentage of people in the U.S. covered by Metro PCS. Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. Coverage claim based on talk text coverage. Speed claim from downloads. See store for details, terms, and conditions.
Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to episode 758 of No BS Job Search Advice Radio. There's only a few more days that I'm offering a discount on my coaching services. Now, you can use the time for asking me questions about your job search. I call it coaching. So through May, June 1, it's over. Midnight, it's over. I'll simply say that if you would like me to answer your job search questions or do some coaching, order before the end of this month, and a session with me, which normally costs $250, will be discounted to $99. The way it works is really very simple. You send an email to me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. In the subject line, put the words Job Search Radio. And what you do is also, I'm mentioning this in case you're down to the wire listening to this show, at PayPal, instead of using that address, use thebiggamehunter@gmail.com. You have to make payment before the end of the month for the offer to be valid. Otherwise, it's not going to be accepted. My admin, Bonnie, is tough. So in the meantime, today's show is the single best question you should ask on any interview. I talk about the beginning of the interview, I talk about the end of the interview, and it's a great piece of content. Hope you find it helpful, and here we go. I've referred to the single best question you should ask on any interview, and I did a Google Hangout about that, but the image is kind of lousy. It was one of my early Hangouts, so I decided I'm going to redo that video here. So what is the single best question you should ask on any interview, and when should you ask it? Real simple. Well, let me start off with what a typical interview seems like. It starts off with them going, tell me about yourself. And you do. And you play interview karate for a while. They throw up a question at you. It's like a punch, and you've got to block it away. And they throw another one up, and you've got to use a hip check to throw them over your shoulder. And back and forth and back and forth. If you're in a profession where there's in-depth questions that could be asked, they'll get to that, and eventually they go, so, do you have any questions for us? You go, tell me about the job. They do that. You go, that's interesting. I'm interested. Great. We'll get back to you. And that's a typical interview. Let me tell you what the single best question is and when to ask it. You walk in and sit down, and as you lower your butt in the chair, before they have a chance to speak, you go, thanks so much for making time to meet with me today. I reviewed the position description, and, it was really interesting to me, but I want to get your take on the job. Could you tell me about the position as you see it and what I can do to help? Boing. What that does is, instead of waiting for the end of the interview to ask them about the job, you do it at the beginning of the interview before they get rolling. And you do that because at the end of the interview, there's really nothing you can do with that information. But sometimes, even if you've seen the job description, they've kind of changed it a little bit. Their thoughts have morphed, and they start looking at it differently. And they never change the requirements. So even if you got this description from a recruiter, it may be slightly different or wrong. So by asking this question, I took a look at the job description, and it was really interesting to me. But I want to get your take on the job. Could you tell me about the position as you see it and what I can do to help you? You get the information at the beginning when you can use it. So every time they're asking you a question, you want to tailor your answer to what matters to them. And not just talk about what you've done, but talk about what you've done that relates to what they're looking for from you. So This gives you a huge advantage from your competition who are just sitting there like lumps waiting for the end to ask about the job. Now, you get this information at the beginning where you can use it. But there's one small problem. And that is, now that you can't ask about the job at the end, you need to be prepared with questions to replace the one about the job, right? So here's what you do. When they say, so do you have any questions about for us here? You say, job seems great to me. I'm really interested. I do have a couple of questions. Here's question number one. Let's say I join. What are your expectations? What would I be doing the first 30, 60, 90 days? And what was your expectations of me when I come on board? Great. If you find out that there are unreasonable expectations, isn't it better to know before you join, right? So that's one question you could ask. Here's a second one. I've done this in another video, but I'm just trying to consolidate everything here. Let's say I join, and it's a year from now. I haven't just done a good job. I've done a spectacular job, if not the best, but maybe one of the best you've ever seen someone perform. What would I have accomplished during that year that would cause you to write such a review? Boing. And right off the bat, it lets them know that you're interested in doing great work, not average work. And it's, again, giving them an idea of you, and it's giving you the idea of what you're going to be doing over that first year that would cause you to be an extraordinary employee. It's a great question. Hope you like it. I hope you use these in your interviews. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, come over to jobsearchcoachinghq.com. That's my site with curated information that I've developed and other people have developed that's going to help you find work more quickly, because you're not going to make dumb mistakes. You know what I mean? The stuff that happens throughout your search through ignorance. Plus, you're also able to ask me questions and avoid headaches that are going to become costly later on. The kinds of things that cost you job offers and result in you getting a lower salary offer. So again, that's jobsearchcoachinghq.com. Now, this show comes on daily, Monday through Monday, every day of the week. I provide you with advice to help you with your search. I hope you find it helpful. I hope you give it 5 stars in iTunes. And with that, see you tomorrow.
At Metro PCS, we let the numbers do the talking. 4, enjoy a reliable 4G LTE network that's faster than Sprint. 2, get 2 free smartphones when you switch to Metro PCS. 99, the percentage of people in the U.S. covered by Metro PCS. Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch. Metro PCS, wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. Coverage claim based on talk text coverage. Speed claim from downloads. See store for details, terms and conditions.